What more can Giannis do to force a Game 7?
Find a way to get to the hole and dominate from the interior, no matter what. Kind of similar to what he did during the regular season. I don't think it can be done. I've lost faith in them. But if he does that, it could change things. Like I said, there's levels to this, and Kawhi has shown he's on a different level than Giannis, primarily because he has a perimeter shot that he can rely on. Yes, Giannis hit a big three near the tail end of the game before twisting his ankle a little bit and going down and having to miss a few possessions, which ultimately led to them losing the game. But the reality is that even though Giannis is capable of hitting shots from time to time from the perimeter, that's not his game. He can't rely on it. And as a result, they don't have to respect it nor trust it, which means they get to suffocate the lane. And in most instances, they know it's still going to attract him to coming down there and challenging 2 and 3 guys at a time. That's what he's going to try to do because that's primarily what he knows. And the supporting cast that he has available to him hasn't stepped up. Bledsoe can't hit perimeter shots when it counts. Brogdon's the only guy that seems to be able to create anything off the dribble. George Hill is playing better than Bledsoe when given the opportunity, but for some reason Budenholzer has elected to keep Bledsoe in there. Obviously, you look at Mirotić and Lopez and Ilyasova. These guys, I mean, they can make shots when open, but when you contest them, they got a real struggle because they certainly can't put the ball on the floor. So unless those things change, I don't see how they can overcome the adjustment that Nick Nurse made in putting Kawhi Leonard on the Greek Freak. Max, you talked about what an elite defender Kawhi Leonard has been. We've been talking about that much no one has ever denied about him. But we've seen it elevate to another level in terms of what he's been able to do with the Greek Freak. He's just a brilliant defender, and even when the Greek Freak scores, it's with difficulty.
Look,
you've taken him out of his game, and I don't know how you fix that. I really don't.
Kawhi is incredible. I expected the Greek Freak to get the better of this series by the end because of his size. It's a size mismatch, but he has not been able to do it because Kawhi is incredible. He's the best player in basketball. I think this series decides who the best basketball player in the world is, and right now it looks like Kawhi.
We don't agree there.
Giannis has an enormous 2 games right now. I do think there's something Giannis can do to force a Game 7. It's what he did in Game 2 against Boston. You know, they were walling off and not giving him anything easy, right, in the paint. And what he did in Game 2 was focus on using the penetration when he got going downhill and got to the paint, when they walled off, to create high-quality shots for his teammates, which then opens up space for him. Now, part of that starts with attacking with ferocity, yes, but also with the mindset that he's going to look for teammates. What happened last night was by the time Giannis kicked to teammates, they were bad passes. They were guys right on Brogdon, guys right on whomever had the ball, right? And so they would think, do I shoot? There's a defender in my face. I really can't. And they were hesitant. And that really disrupted the offense for Milwaukee. The most important factor, in my view, to the success of a team that shoots from the outside is the pass. That determines it. Does a guy have to reach for the ball? Is he out of rhythm? Or does he get it where he wants it in rhythm? When Giannis, who's an underrated passer, Giannis has those laser beam, cross-court, LeBron James-style passes. When Giannis is getting into the paint or going in that direction with a mind toward creating quality looks for his teammates, that's when the Bucks are really unstoppable, because pick your poison. He has not been that recently. Credit Kawhi. And that leads me to my second point. Here's the other thing Giannis can do if he's capable of doing it. You know, this is where experience kicks in. Giannis is not yet quite in his prime, I don't think. Kawhi Leonard is. And the difference seems to be, to me, Kawhi Leonard, the game slows down. You know, one of the reasons I think you, Will, others are slow to recognize that Kawhi is in fact the best player in the league is he didn't come in like that. That wasn't the expectation. He was there were times in his career where he wasn't nearly as good as Kevin Durant, for example. Those guys came in with huge expectations and lived up to them. Durant, LeBron, these kind of guys. Kawhi has built himself to this place, and it almost never happens. In the history of sports, almost never happens the way Kawhi has done it. But here he is. He's gotten better and better and better. Every facet of his game last night, including the passing, is just about as good as it can get. Like in the history of basketball, how many guys have played defense better than Kawhi? How many have been as efficient on offense as Kawhi? How many have done both in the same high-leverage playoff series against a player like the Greek Freak and a team like the Bucks? Playing both ends of the floor all the time, like this. So for Giannis to get to where Kawhi is, it's not just about hitting shots. He can do that. He's shown he can do that, stepping into threes. It's slowing the game down for him the way it appears to be slowed down for Kawhi Leonard, and that comes with experience.
Well, you could say it comes with experience, and I love how you're bloviating about Kawhi Leonard, but the focus is on the Greek Freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo, who you called the best player in the world 48 hours ago. That's the focus. And the reality of the situation is that when you look at the Greek Freak right now, if you're talking about you had him as top 2. You said this series is going to decide it. Now he's not even in the top 2. But my point is that when you look at the Greek Freak, when you look at the Greek Freak right now, yeah, that's right.
Well, yeah, you did. You said Kawhi then LeBron.
Right. Yes, that's right. Because LeBron is the guy who they're vying for. So there's one guy who's going to.
We didn't ask you why. We didn't ask you why you said it. We just said you said it. That's all Will said. We didn't ask for an explanation as to why. We said, yeah, that's what you said. All I'm trying to say is that the Greek Freak, you could talk about slowing it down, but in the end, what it comes down to, if the slower you go, Max, the more you allow Toronto to prepare for you defensively. What Nick Nurse has been able to do in concert with Kawhi has been exceptional, and it's changed the entire complexion of this series, so much so that the Greek Freak is sitting there saying, we ain't going to fold. We're going to come out. We're going to be ticked off. We're not going to fold. I know you don't mean like literally slow the game down.
I mean think Matrix.
I know.
Where everything, when you watch Kawhi, it looks like everyone else to him is going in slow motion.
That can't go get a game. That's something I'm trying to tell you. You can't do that game to game. Like, the game slows down for you. That comes with experience. You don't get that from a game.